Where is Egypt? Egypt is a country in northeastern Africa that covers 386,662 square miles, 1,001,450 square kilometers. The capital and largest city of Egypt is Cairo, which lies on the banks of the Nile River. Egypt borders Libya to the west, Sudan to the south, and Israel to the northeast. Egypt's long northern coast faces the Mediterranean Sea. The Red Sea lies off Egypt's eastern coast. In the northeast, the Sinai Peninsula touches the Gulf of Suez to the west and the Gulf of Aqaba to the east. The land. Egypt is a flat country with deserts and rocky plains. The Sahara Desert covers most of Egypt. Egyptians know the desert region as the Red Land. There are no towns in the desert except where oases exist around springs of water. A narrow ribbon of green winds down the eastern side of Egypt. This is the Nile River Valley. People have lived in this valley for thousands of years. East of the Suez Canal is the Sinai Peninsula. Mountains rise in the southern part of the peninsula. North of the mountains lies the Sinai Desert, where there is not enough water for many people to live. Fun fact: strong winds blow across the Sahara Desert. They can create hills of sand called dunes that are more than 100 feet, 30.5 meters high. Did you know? The Sinai Peninsula had some of the first mines ever built. They produced a deep blue-green stone known as turquoise. Long ago, the people living on the Sinai called it the Land of Turquoise. The Nile River. Fun fact: traditional Egyptian boats, called feluccas, have sailed the Nile for thousands of years. Egypt depends on the Nile River for fresh water, fertile land, and transportation. There are only a few bridges that cross the river. In many places, small ferry boats carry people across. In the north, the Nile branches into smaller streams. These waterways form the Nile Delta, where the waters of the Nile empty into the Mediterranean Sea. In southern Egypt, the Aswan High Dam controls the flow of the Nile. Behind the dam is a reservoir known as Lake Nasser. The reservoir captures extra water when the Nile floods. When the water level of the Nile is low, the dam opens to allow more water to flow downstream. Did you know? Most rivers grow wider as they flow toward the sea, but the Nile River gets narrower. No smaller streams join it, and much of its water evaporates into the dry air of the Sahara Desert. Wildlife. Egypt has abundant wildlife along the Nile and in the desert. Crocodiles lurk in the wetlands near the river. Nile perch swim in the river. These fish can grow up to 6 feet, 2 meters long, and can weigh 500 pounds, 227 kilograms. Several kinds of birds nest in the Nile Delta, including herons, egrets, and ibises. Many birds from Europe migrate to the delta during the winter. In the Sahara, hyenas and desert foxes hunt for prey. Wild dogs howl while gazelles gallop over the dunes. Snakes, hedgehogs, rats, and other animals move across the hot desert sand. To hide from predators, beetles, scorpions, and other insects scurry under rocks. Did you know? Small wild cats still prowl in the Nile Delta and along the Nile River Valley. The people of ancient Egypt were the first to tame these cats and make them their pets. The people. Over 80 million people live in Egypt. Most of them have ancestors who lived in ancient Egypt over 2,000 years ago. Egyptians speak Arabic and use Arabic script to write their language. The people of Cairo speak their own dialect called Cairene. This is the language used in newspapers and on television. Speak Arabic. Egyptians use Arabic script when they write. However, Arabic words can be written in English to help you read them out loud. Hello, Ahlan. Goodbye, Ma'a salama. Yes, Aywa. No, La. Please, male. Lo samaht. Please, female. Lo samahti. Thank you. Shukran. Friend, male. Sahib. Friend, female. Sahba. The Bedouin people have lived in the desert for thousands of years. They are nomads who roam from place to place. Some have settled in small towns. Others still live in tents made of goatskin. They keep herds of camels and goats. Fun fact: ancient Egyptians used hieroglyphs for writing. These pictures stood for sounds, objects, and ideas. Daily life. Did you know? Cairo has huge street markets, or souks, where people can shop for goods. Some of these markets have been open for hundreds of years. Egyptians leave their homes early in the morning. They walk, bike, or take buses or trains to get to school or work. Around midday, many workers return home for a meal. During the hot afternoon, the cities and towns are quiet. As the sun sinks and the temperature drops, Egyptians return to the streets. Small shops are open for business. Customers bargain with shop owners over clothing, shoes, and food. In the countryside, families live in homes made of brick and plaster. Many of these homes have courtyards where people work and cook. During the summer, some people sleep on their rooftops to feel the cool, fresh air. Going to school. The law in Egypt requires children to attend school from ages 6 to 14. Elementary school lasts 5 years, and then students move on to middle school. Students learn science, math, and other subjects in the Arabic language. Some schools teach classes in English. Classrooms are often crowded, and some have no textbooks or school supplies. Some students drop out of school to work. Families in the countryside need their children to help with farm work. Students who do complete secondary school can apply to go to a university. They must pass a tough exam before they can attend. Did you know? Egyptian schools require students to dress in uniforms. Students often wear collared shirts with ties. Girls wear skirts and boys wear pants. For everyone in Egypt, shoulders must be covered. Working. Did you know? Egypt ships its goods to many countries. Most go to Italy or the United States. In Egyptian cities, factory workers make textiles, cement, fertilizers, and other goods. Some Egyptian companies produce electronic equipment. Many Egyptians have service jobs in hotels, restaurants, and shops. Farming and mining are big industries in Egypt's countryside. Miners dig up iron ore, coal, and uranium. They also draw oil and natural gas out of the earth. Egyptian farmers rely on the waters of the Nile. They use water from canals to irrigate their fields of rice, barley, cotton, and other crops. Egypt sells its high-quality cotton all over the world. Playing. Did you know? The ancient Egyptians played senet, the oldest board game in the world. Backgammon is likely a modern version of senet. Egyptians like to spend their free time talking with and visiting their friends. They often meet in an ahwa, or coffee shop. In Cairo, people like to walk along the Nile or visit the zoo. They also enjoy trips to the seaside, where they can stay at resorts on the Mediterranean or the Red Sea. Egyptians also like to play sports. Their favorite sport is soccer. Kids all over the country play soccer in streets, parks, and other open areas. Tennis, squash, and basketball are also popular sports. Fun fact: the Egyptian national soccer team, the Pharaohs, won the African Nations Cup in 2010. Food. Egyptian food is similar to food in other Middle Eastern countries. Most Egyptian meals include vegetables, which can be bought at colorful local souks. Many Egyptians have a plate of ful midames every day. For this dish, cooks boil fava beans with onions, barley, and lemon juice. They fry the mix in olive oil and serve it with bread. Another Egyptian favorite is the kebab. Pieces of spiced meat are speared on skewers and then grilled over a flame. Egyptians eat vegetables, rice, and bread with their kebabs. Hummus combines mashed sesame seeds, mashed chickpeas, lemon juice, garlic, and olive oil. It makes a delicious spread for thin pita bread. Did you know? Egyptians enjoy drinking coffee and tea. Although coffee is popular, it cannot compete with tea, which is the national drink of Egypt. Holidays. On national holidays in Egypt, shops close and people stay home. Sinai Liberation Day takes place on April 25th. This holiday celebrates a treaty with Israel that gave Egypt control of the Sinai Peninsula. On Revolution Day, Egyptians celebrate the founding of their modern republic. This holiday takes place on July 23rd. Most Egyptians follow the religion of Islam. The dates of many religious holidays in Egypt follow the Islamic calendar. Maulid celebrates the birth of the Prophet Muhammad. This holiday occurs in the third month of the Islamic year. Ramadan is a holy month for Islam. This is a time of fasting when Muslims eat only after sundown. At the end of Ramadan, families and friends gather for a big feast. Fun fact: Fahwanis, or Ramadan lanterns, are important symbols of Ramadan in Egypt. Children often swing them in the streets while singing traditional Ramadan songs. Ancient Egypt. Ancient Egyptians built many structures, including temples, monuments, and tombs. Several were built on the banks of the Nile near the modern city of Luxor. Many of these buildings are still standing today. The ancient Egyptians buried many of their pharaohs in the desert hills across the river from Luxor. Some were also buried in the pyramids of Giza, which were built more than 4,500 years ago. They still tower over a desert plain near the Sphinx, a sculpture with the body of a lion and the head of a pharaoh. These monuments were built to display the power of the pharaohs and the might of the Egyptian gods. Today, they keep Egyptians connected to their country's rich history and culture. Did you know? The Great Pyramid of Cheops is the largest pyramid in Egypt. Cheops originally contained 210 layers of stone blocks and about 2,500,000 blocks in all. Of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, it is the only one that is still standing. Fast facts about Egypt. Egypt's flag. Egypt officially adopted its current flag in 1984. The flag has one red, one white, and one black stripe. In the center of the flag is the crest of Saladin, an ancient ruler of a kingdom that included Egypt. In the crest, a gold eagle perches on top of a banner that reads Arab Republic of Egypt in Arabic script. Official name: Arab Republic of Egypt. Area: 386,662 square miles, 1,001,450 square kilometers. Egypt is the 30th largest country in the world. Capital city: Cairo. Important cities: Alexandria, Giza, Suez, Luxor. Population: 80,471,869, July 2010. Official language: Arabic. National holiday: Revolution Day, July 23rd. Religions: Muslim 90%, Christian 10%. Major industries: farming, manufacturing, mining, services, tourism. Natural resources: oil, natural gas, iron ore, coal, uranium. Manufactured products: iron, steel, electronics, chemicals, construction materials, clothing, machinery. Farm products: cotton, wheat, dates, rice, citrus fruits, grapes, sugarcane, corn, barley. Unit of money: Egyptian pound. The pound is divided into 100 piastres. Glossary: Ancestors: relatives who lived long ago. Canal: a trench dug across land that connects two bodies of water. Canals allow ships to move between the two bodies of water. Delta: the area around the mouth of a river. Dialect: a unique way of speaking a language. Dialects are often specific to certain regions of a country. Fertile: supports growth. Gulf: part of an ocean or sea that extends into land. Irrigate: to bring water to a field of crops. Maulid: the celebration of the birthday of the Prophet Muhammad. Migrate: to move from one place to another, often with the seasons. Oases: fertile areas in an otherwise dry region, such as a desert. Most oases surround a spring of water. Peninsula: a section of land that extends out from a larger piece of land and is almost completely surrounded by water. Pharaohs: rulers of ancient Egypt. Ramadan: a religious holiday for Muslims that lasts a month. Republic: a nation governed by elected leaders instead of a monarch. Reservoir: a large lake formed behind a river dam. Service jobs: jobs that perform tasks for people or businesses. Textiles: materials that are made into clothing and other soft goods. Wetlands: wet, spongy land. Bogs, marshes, and swamps are wetlands.